Well, Australia's seen a spike in divorce filings over the past 2 months, but amidst the emotional upheaval, many couples are just overlooking major tax changes and dangers that are hidden in their settlements. Joining us now at the desk, Dr. Stephen Entiker from CIA Tax and host of Money Matters here on Ticker. Great to see you. This is one that most people don't think about. They're thinking about their relationship, their children, who's going to have the house, but not tax.
That's right. Well, unfortunately, the statistics are pretty clear. About 50% of marriages at some point will end in divorce. And as part of that, we're going to have a financial split. Well, generally there'll be a family home involved, or there might be a rental property, or there's superannuation, or there's a holiday home. Making some decisions around which assets you want to keep and not keep without considering the tax implications or availability. If you take superannuation and you're 30 and you can't access it to 65, that's a 35-year decision you're making. So I see a lot of mistakes around this in particular. Your divorce lawyer will send you out, a good divorce lawyer will send you out to say you must speak to your accountant, you must get tax advice. But sometimes I doubt the quality of advice people are receiving.
Interesting, the divorce filings that they've spiked at the start of the year. Is that unusual that we see that, or is something going on, perhaps the economy?
Well, I don't think it's unusual. Once you get past that Christmas period, January, February, the economy is very tight and tough. That's when you're going to feel a lot of financial pressure at the end of the year.
So once they give you the Christmas gift, you can get rid of them.
Well, that's right. You might be able to sell it to pay your bond on your rental property when you move out. Look, no, it is a bad time. A lot of people hang on for one last Christmas or stick together for the kids, school years, whatever. All those sort of things seem to line up. But we do see, in particular, I see it myself as an accountant, a lot of people asking you questions around January, February, March, April. Marriage has ended, what should I be doing from here?
So the longer that the relationship has been on for, does it heighten the tax risks, or does it not matter?
Yeah, well, I think it does actually. So when you go through a divorce process, you do financial statements to each other. You come together and you say, here's the assets we all own, and we put values to them. But some of those asset values are going to be heavily impacted by tax. Like if one of the partners is self-employed, for example, and you put a value to that business, well, when they sell that business, generally there's going to be some tax considerations around that. You may do the tax considerations based on the generous 50% capital gains discounts we have now, or the small business rollover reliefs we have now. But I can't see that generosity lasting for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, let alone 30 years when you might be selling these assets. Yeah. So they are major considerations to take into consideration when you're doing these asset splits.
What I love here is you're a chaplain as well as a tax man, so you very much know, tax accountant, not the tax man, so you very much know to bring these together. Do you find that couples are having the discussion before marriage about whether or not marriage is right for them, given their specific situations that they might be in financially?
Yeah, well, what we see there is a lot of binding financial agreements, like the prenuptial, if you like, the binding financial agreement.
I thought that was just for the royals.
No, yeah, it's great. But if you're coming into a relationship and you've got children from past marriages, or you've got a very big disparity in financial positions, or there might be family assets that need protecting, a family farm or whatever.
Or one partner has job security and the other doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. Or debt. I call it an STD, sexually transmitted debt. Sometimes you might come into a relationship and someone's got a really bad credit history. Well, you might not want to be financially in a relationship with them because that's going to affect your credit score as well. So a lot of money problems, do affect marriages and cause marriages to end. So going into a relationship, a new relationship, you want to make sure you understand each other's financial positions and be on the same journey as well together.
And talk to us about financial agreements, how they can actually impact divorce outcomes.
Yeah, well, if you have a properly done binding financial agreement, they can't be undone. As long as everyone's been honest and truthful, they've been put together in a legal way, they won't be overdone. So when you get to an end of a relationship, hopefully it never happens, but sadly 50% do, you can sit there and go, well, here's what we agreed before we entered into that relationship, and that will be upheld going into the future.
You touched on it earlier, but I just want to expand on debt and superannuation.
Yep.
What happens here at the end of a relationship?
Yeah, so superannuation, well, in Australia, it's pretty simple. If I had $100 and you had $50, and then we got together, and at the end of the day, we accumulated up to $300 between us. Well, we're going to split that $150 that we've accumulated together as a couple. So it's generally a 50-50 split on what you've accumulated post coming into a relationship. But people chop and change. You might say, well, I want to keep the family home, you keep all the superannuation. So you can negotiate around that. For me, when I divorced a very long time ago, I was happy to keep the superannuation because my mindset was always to buy farms, and to do that inside superannuation was a good and safe thing to do.
Yes.
So some people may want the super, others might go, well, it's 35 years, I need somewhere to live before I can access that. You have all the bloody super, you give me some money so I can go put a deposit or pay some rent or whatever it might be. So it does become a negotiation. What I try to do, and you mentioned I'm a chaplain, when I sit down with people, the first thing I tell them is don't feel special. You know, most people are very, very upset that they're in this financial position, rightfully so. So don't feel special, mate, or lady or friend or whoever you are. So don't feel special. You know, 50% of people that sit in that chair go through this process at some time. What gets people through the process, and in particular the financial process, is actually to have a plan. To sit there going, well, here's what it looks like in 10, 15, 20 years' time. And it helps you accept the position you're at the moment. So you may feel like a victim, or you may feel rightfully hard done by, or whatever it might be. But if you can latch onto a new plan quickly after divorce, it also helps you with the asset split, getting what you need to get into that new plan.
And I suppose that experience of a relationship failure can help you to, I guess, keep your eyes open for what to look out for in the future as well. Dr. Steve, always appreciate your time. Thank you.